I'm a helper. I love helping people, but I sit in a cubicle all day and I'm not interacting, and I really wanted to do something where I could go home and feel good about it every day.
I like the body, the anatomy of how our body works. It's like a puzzle. What part is wrong, and then we can fix it with this.
I wanted to find an occupation where I was really, truly making a tangible difference with people.
Healthcare jobs are in demand, and we'll help make sure you are too. Not only does Bryant and Stratton College offer programs for a variety of healthcare careers, we include the support of Career Life Prep, where we'll help chart your path, teach the soft skills employers desire, provide professional connections, and offer career support for life. Classes for these healthcare programs start soon, so contact us today. Bryant and Stratton College, for every and in life.
To think that's what I'm going to school for, that I can accomplish that dream, is pretty cool. It's pretty amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back your Central New York Tournament MC. Make some noise for Michael Rizzo.
Good morning, Utica. Wow, what a great day of competitions we had yesterday. Thank you to all the teams for your gracious professionalism, both on and off the field. And thanks for being such great role models in creativity, excitement, and your robot determination here. Keep it up today as the competition intensifies. Regardless of how your team is doing, I hope you can see the bigger picture. First isn't really about the competition. It's about the future. What happens during the competition with your robot is just a tiny fraction of what FIRST is about. It's about building a community and building leaders. FIRST is about so much more than robots. It's about, well, let's just watch this.
To me, robotics means...
That's a good question.
FIRST is more than robots. FIRST is like a family.
No, it doesn't matter your background because...
It's community. Making things in general is what speaks to me.
I'm actively changing the world around me.
And we all work together.
We end up coming up with really interesting ideas, and she keeps it fun.
The more people know about robotics and STEM in general,
there would be smarter solutions to a lot of the problems that we have now.
Yeah.
It's just always intrigued me making something.
I like building what comes to my mind.
Maybe a mini helicopter.
Mini robot, like a butler. Like boats. I just love that feeling of building stuff.
It brings out your imagination.
It helps expose me to different things.
It's almost like if you aren't having fun, you're doing it wrong.
A team is so much more than just building.
We meet a bunch of different people that we wouldn't normally meet.
People from different cultures and races and stuff.
It made me feel like that could be me.
No matter what you look like or where you're from.
We're just a team of people who really enjoy robotics.
It's just a whole nother world.
We can basically do anything we want with it. It's not just building robots.
Be sure to take some time to answer that question for yourself. What does FIRST mean to you? And think about where FIRST has taken you and where it will lead you in the future. So no matter how today plays out, whether you win or lose, remember to take it in stride as part of a much longer journey as you are to make this world a better place for all of us. And don't forget to enjoy the ride. Today we have a little treat for you here. Over in the Student Center, up until noon, we have the Junior FLL displaying their presentations. But we also have them here today. This is where they start their journey through FIRST, proceed to LEGO League, FTC, and then sometime on this field. And then, after FIRST, on to amazing things. But please welcome the Junior FLL teams, led by our mascots here. Come on in, guys. a lot of those kids are going to go on to this, and they're going to do great things. I can see it. I can see how they want to be creative and how they want to build and change things. I would now like to introduce our first guest speaker, Assemblyman Brian Miller.
Well, good morning, everyone. When I pulled in the driveway, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but holy cow, there's a lot of aspiring engineers here. And welcome to the Mohawk Valley. I hope everyone had a great weekend here, and I hope you return to SUNY Poly campus. But just looking around, over the last 35 years, I was an engineer. In the last 10, I worked in the fluid power industry. And I see a lot of the components here and a lot of the automation. And I'm going to be real quick, giving a politician the microphone. I could stay here all day. But we want to get you guys on the floor, and we want to get you guys moving. But seeing all the components and being new engineers and, think out of the box. But thank you for having me here today, and good luck on the competition.
Our second guest speaker, lead co-sponsor of the our lead co-sponsor of the National Grid Regional Executive, Alberto Bianchetti.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our new friends, FIRST, and our very old friends, SUNY Poly, National Grid would like to welcome you to the Mohawk Valley, to upstate New York, and to this campus for this event. I also want to thank all our volunteers, including our local volunteers and our volunteers who have come from afar, and the large handful of my colleagues who are here volunteering for us. Some of you may not know National Grid. National Grid is the electric and gas utility in most of upstate New York, in most of Massachusetts, in all of Rhode Island, and we're the gas company on Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, and we're also the electric transmission company in all of the United Kingdom. It's been a tough week to be in the utility business. Thank you. Thank you. But what's important to recognize, and what these events mean for us, is that when technology and teamwork get together, success can happen. And when we talk about new technology in the utility industry, we talk about microgrids, like the one we're helping to develop in Potsdam, that could limit the impact of the power outages that we've seen this week throughout the Northeast. We talk about smart grid technology, like the technology that we're developing in the capital region that will help us communicate with our customers. Predictive technology that helps us determine where and when outages are going to occur. And drone technology that helps us inspect the power lines ahead of time to make sure that we know where we could have some troubled spots. When National Grid talks about engineering, we have a program called Engineering Our Future. This is a specific program to develop engineering talent, and we talk about it in 3 phases: inspire, attract, and develop. Inspire is what we're doing right here today, supporting programs like FIRST, like Energy Explorers, like programs in schools that inspire students to look at technology fields, science, math, engineering as a career. Attract is the next phase, both a special program we call our Engineering Pipeline Program that attracts 60 high-potential high school juniors into the engineering field by providing them summer programs, then mentoring them through college, and hopefully hiring them when they're done through college, as well as recruiting on college campuses like SUNY Poly to attract and hire our next generation of engineers, and then finally to develop. Once they come to National Grid, we want them to bring their whole person, and we want them to be the best engineer, best technical person, best employee they can be. So we're here because we want to invest in upstate New York and in the Mohawk Valley, but we're here for a purpose. We need more engineers, we need more technical people, we need more scientists to help us run their business, and my bet is that we have a few of them in this room here this morning. Thank you very much, and good luck.
There is one other person, but he won't be coming out to speak with you here on the field, but he does want to speak with you in the pits. Director of FRC, Frank Merrick. If you see him today, please say hi and feel free to talk to him because he wants to hear from you. He wants to hear your questions and concerns and talk to you about all of the events. Please welcome back our judges. Hopefully you've all had a chance to meet them and wow them. Good morning, judges. And let's not forget about our referees. Let's welcome back the referees. And please show your appreciation for another talented group of volunteers. Your robot inspectors, led by lead robot inspector Rob Heslin. A reminder that all teams must be re-inspected after the final qualification match to be eligible for playoffs. Here's what our schedule will look like for the rest of today. We are going to finish up our qualification matches and then go immediately into alliance selection, where the top 8 teams will pick 2 partners to go with them through the finals. These 8 alliances will then move on to the playoffs. After a lunch break, we will begin the playoff rounds and end the competition with the awards ceremony. Is everyone excited for this? Yeah. But before we begin today, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Taipei. And please remain standing for the National Anthem of the United States of America, sung by Jenny Yeager.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the rest of these qualification matches started. Everyone, please welcome also Josh Goodman, the other voice you will be hearing this weekend.
Thank you, Mike, and good morning, Utica. Welcome back here to the arcade. We're going to pick up right where we left off at qualifications match number 53, coming your way next. Don't go away.
All right, qualification match 53. In this alliance, we have Team 3003.
Well, Mike, team number 3003 finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.5, elevating them into third place. They are Tanks from Canandaigua, New York.
Partner with them is 4027.
They represent Center County 4-H out of State College, Pennsylvania. It's a Center County 4-H robotics team.
And finally, we have Team 7081.
They represent the Northeast Uke High School out of Shenyang, China. They are NEYC.
Down on blue, we have Team 2791.
Team number 2791 finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.75, powering them into first place. They represent Shaker High School out of Latham, New York. It's Shaker Robotics.
They are partnered with Team 6621.
Team 6621 represents Chatham High School out of Chatham, New York. They are Artemis Robotics.
And finally down on blue, we have Team 2060.
They represent New Jersey School for the Deaf and Ewing High School from Ewing, New Jersey. They are known as the Mighty Monkey Wrenches.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
And we're off. Day 2 of competition here in upstate New York. Welcome back to the action here on the arcade. A shot early from the red machine, taking ownership. Same story for blue. The Canandaigua machine in position on the far side of the arcade. No dice, but they're still in scoring position as drivers take control. Both alliances snagging the auto run here, and scores are even coming out of autonomous. Scale remains even as now the Latham machine is going head-to-head with 4027 and 7081, the NEYC shooter, trying to take ownership here early in the match. The Mighty Monkey Wrenches, the 2016 machine, back at their own portal, trying to get a cube from the human player. Directing traffic is the Mighty Monkey Wrenches, and now with possession they head to their opponent's switch, trying to deny them the points. And it's not going to be enough as they go back to recollect. A minute and a half left here in match number 53, 98-84. It's the red advantage. Here comes the Latham machine on the near side of the arcade, tipping the scale in favor of blue. Not to be outdone, it's the 4027 Center County 4-H machine. Misses just shy, and that gives Latham another chance to pour on the score. Just over 1 minute left in play, 133-120. Now it's the blue advantage as they have ownership of both the scale and their own switch. Here is the first power-up of the game. It's a Blue Alliance Levitate, giving them the ability for a free climb and 30 points at the end of this match. 170-137. Blue remains in the lead. 2016, running those cycles, trying to deny this Red Alliance of switch points. Right now, strategy's paying off for them. In the lead, no ownership for Red. Power up, Blue Alliance, they use a level 1 boost as they double the points accrued from their own switch. We are in the end game. Teams looking to climb up and face the boss. Tech fouls pouring in on both sides of the arcade. The team from Canandaigua has their hook up. The team from Latham deploys their ramps. They have a levitate. They are hoping for the ranking point here in the final 5 seconds of the match. It's 3, 2, 1. Qualification match number 53 is in the books here in Utica. Your official results next. Here come your scores for the first match of the day. It is the Blue Alliance who takes the victory. A score of 422-210. Blue Alliance snags 3 ranking points for the auto run and the win. Despite the loss, Red still grabbing that 1 ranking point for the auto run. Team 2791 retains their number 1 rank, and 2016 moving up into the 18th position as we set up for match number 54 here in Utica.
All right, we have a lot of new people joining us today, and that's really awesome because they're all coming out to see you and to cheer for you. But some of those people may or may not know what's going on, so let's watch the game animation.
Welcome to the 2018 First Robotics Competition, and this year's game first power-up. 2 alliances of video game characters and their human operators are trapped in an arcade game. To escape, alliances use power cubes to control switches and the scale, pass power cubes through the exchange for power-ups, and ascend to face the boss. Teams may preload up to 1 power cube per robot. Additional power cubes are available in the power cube piles, along the fence nearest the scale, and in each alliance portal. At the start of the match, the plates of the scale and the switches are randomized. During the first 15 seconds, robots are autonomous. They work to cross their auto line and place power cubes on the switch and the scale. Alliances who successfully own their switch and have 3 robots cross the auto line will receive 1 ranking point. During the following 2-minute and 15-second teleoperated period, human operators remotely control their robots. They continue to gather power cubes to place on the scale and the switches to gain ownership for the longest time, earning points for each second of ownership. Human operators behind the Alliance Station wall collect power cubes from the exchange. They can deliver them back to the robots through the return or to their vault. In the vault, power cubes may be traded in for 3 power-ups. Alliances choose when in the match to activate each power-up to gain a temporary advantage during the match. The forced power-up gives an alliance ownership of their switch, the scale, or both. The boost power-up increases scoring for 10 seconds for either their switch, the scale, or both. And near the end of the match, Levitate earns 1 member of the alliance a free climb. Other alliance members climb from their platform. If all 3 members successfully climb, the alliance can face the boss and gain an additional ranking point. The alliance that earns the most points wins the match and defeats the boss.
All right, let's meet the teams in qualification match 54. Still working on their robot. It's 340.
Team number 340 finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.33, moving them into the 3rd position. They represent Churchville, New York, and are known as GRR, Greater Rochester Robotics.
Partnered with them is Team 6300.
Team number 6300 represents Northwood School. They hail from Lake Placid, New York. They are Northwood School Robotics.
And finally, we have Team 810.
Representing Smithtown East and West High Schools out of Smithtown, New York, they're known as the Mechanical Bulls.
Down on blue, we have Team 145.
First team, number 145, finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.0, moving them into 8th place. They hail from Norwich, New York. They're known as T-Rex.
Partnered with them, we have Team 5484.
They hail from South Bend, Indiana, representing Career Academy South Bend. It's Career Academy Robotics.
And finally, we have Team 1450.
Representing Vanguard Collegiate High School and Integrated Arts and Technology High School from their hometown of Rochester, New York, it's XQ Robotics.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the autonomous period here in qualification match 54. Robots moving around the arcade autonomously from pre-programmed instructions. Red Alliance dumps off a cube in their own switch early on, courtesy of the Churchville 340 machine. Scores are even coming out of autonomous mode, 36 all. Both alliances have full control of their switch. Now it's a team from Norwich who's on the near side of the arcade, who's placing 1 in the scale and putting blue on the clock for the first time. Here comes GRR. They level the scale with a cube of their own, and now it's a battle between the 340 and 145 machine to take ownership of the scale. T-Rex drops 1 early, and that gives 340 a chance to take ownership for the first time. Power up, Red Alliance, they use a levitate early in this match. Blue Alliance follows suit with a levitate of their own. Both alliances getting 1 free climb and 30 points at the conclusion of this match. Red Alliance continues to pour cubes onto their own switch, courtesy of the 6300 Northwood School team. That seems to be enough as 6300 breaks off and heads to their own portal. 2 Blue Alliance robots back in the exchange. Team number 5484 and 1450 making quick work of that power cube stack, trading them in for power-ups behind the player station line. Red Alliance currently with ownership of the scale. The team from Norwich trying to do something about it. Not going to be enough, and here comes 340 with another cube to add some insurance for the Red Alliance. Just under 1 minute left in play here in match number 54. 177 to 187, the slight red advantage, but it's going back and forth here in Utica. Now it's the Northwood team, 6300 and 340, heading to their opponent's switch to try and deny them the points. 1 point per second on the switch, trying to shut down the scoring from the Blue Alliance. A power-up, Red Alliance, they use the level 3 boost. 10 seconds of double scoring on both the scale and their own switch as we reach the end game period here in match number 54. A level 3 force power-up now being used by the Blue Alliance. For the next 10 seconds, the scale and their own switch will temporarily flip ownership to the Blue Alliance. 10 seconds left here in the match, and a level 1 force played by the Red Alliance as time starts to run out. It's 3, 2, 1. Well, folks, before we show the score here for match number 54, head referee Dante Dalell is heading out to the field. He's going to show up a yellow card for team number 145 of the Blue Alliance. This is going to be in violation of G25, which is for repetitive movement of the scale plate without the use of a power cube. Scores are in for that last match. Here go the Alliances to face the boss. It is the Red Alliance who takes the victory in this one. The official score is 338 to 280. The Red Alliance takes it with 3 ranking points for the auto run and the win. Despite the loss, Blue taking home 1 for the auto run anyways. 340 remains your number 3 ranked team. Their Alliance partners moving up in the ranks as well. Despite the loss, team number 145 falls just out of the top 8, down into 9th. Action continues to heat up here in Utica. Qualification 55 coming up next.
qualification match 55. Down on red, we have team 27.
Team number 27 hails from Clarkston High School. They are the Hall of Fame team out of Clarkston, Michigan, known as Team Rush.
Partnered with them is 527.
Team number 527 represents Plain Edge Senior High School out of Massapequa, New York. They are the Red Dragons.
And with them we have 3173.
Out of Rochester, New York, they represent McQuaid Jesuit High School. They are the Igniters.
Down on blue, we have team 358.
Team number 358 represents Hauppauge High School out of Hauppauge, New York. They're the Robotic Eagles.
Partnered with 223.
Team number 223 represents Lakeland Regional High School out of Wanacue, New Jersey. It's Extreme Heat.
And team 378.
Representing Newfane Senior High School out of Newfane, New York. They are the Circuit Stompers.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
It's the autonomous period here in qualification match number 55. An early dump off from the Circuit Stomper machine. Same story with Rush on the red side. Both alliances getting on the clock early here for both switches. Time runs out in autonomous period. Both alliances taking one ranking point with them for the auto run. Scores are even as drivers take control. Robots racing to see who's going to be the first to take ownership of the scale. It looks like Team Rush will be the first one to make it there. They take ownership. And the Red Alliance is on the clock. 2-2-3, the team from Wanacue trying to even the scale here early in the match to stop this red ownership. But here comes Rush, the team from Clarkston, bringing it back for red. 358's turn now. The Robotic Eagles from Hauppauge bringing it back to neutral, and it's a battle for the scale with a minute and a half in play. 31-73, the Rochester machine making the cycles into the exchange. Trading these power cubes in for power-ups behind the driver station line. 378, the Newfane machine doing it for blue. Red still with ownership of the scale and the switch, accruing at twice the rate as blue. They have the advantage, 155-98, with well over 1 minute left in play. Power up, Red Alliance. They have a level 3 boost, doubling the points brought to them from both the scale and the switch, and that will extend their lead 204 to 111 as the Red Alliance's boost runs out. They follow that up with a levitate, so 30 points and a climb at the conclusion of this match. 50 seconds left. 3:58, playing the defense on the rush machine as the Blue Alliance uses their level 2 force, bringing the scale into ownership. 8 seconds here before the end game period starts. Robots scrambling around this field, trying to get the last power cubes into the exchange that they need now as the Blue Alliance plays their levitate power up as well. Train whistle sounds and end game begins. Robots can try and head for the scale to face the boss if they so choose. Back and forth goes the Igniter's machine. They right themselves, and 15 seconds left to scramble to the middle of the field. Igniters popping one more into the red side of the switch. Here comes the team from Massapequa trying to climb on the Michigan machine with 3, 2, 1. Clarkston up in the air. That's how it's going to stay here in match number 55. Here come the scores for that last match. Qualification 55 goes to the Red Alliance. It's a score of 390 to 221. Blue Alliance takes 1 ranking point for the auto run. Red Alliance getting 3 for the auto run and the win. All three red machines moving up in the ranks, notably 527, who moves just outside of picking position up into 9th.
Qualification match 56. On the Red Alliance, we have team 4253.
Team 4253 finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.55. That boosts them up into 2nd place. They represent Taipei American School. It's Raid 0.
And with them, we have team 639.
Team number 639 represents Ithaca Senior High School. They hail from Ithaca, New York. They're known as Code Red Robotics.
And 694.
They represent Stuyvesant High School from New York, New York. It's Sty Pulse.
That's a lot of red on the Red Alliance. Down on blue, we have team 250.
Team number 250 represents Colony Central High School out of Colony, New York. They are the Dynamos.
And with them, we have team 1518.
They represent Palmyra Macedon Senior High School out of Palmyra, New York. They're known as Raider Robotics.
And finally, team 20.
Team number 20 finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.0. They are boosted into 8th place, representing Shenendehowa High School. It's the Rocketeers.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
It's qualification match number 56, starting as always with 15 seconds of pre-programmed autonomous action. Unfortunately now, a foul going to be called on the Blue Alliance, team number 15-18, for passing that null territory and heading into the red side of the field. Drivers take control. Red had ownership of the scale for a brief second as a delivery from the Stipulse machine bounces in and out. But their alliance partners from Ithaca will get it done and take ownership of the scale first. But here comes Blue. Two robots back-to-back, the Rocketeers and Raider Robotics, tipping the scale in favor of the Blue Alliance as they have ownership. Two robots apiece going at this scale. Meanwhile, the Dynamo Machine from Colony, team number 250, running the cycles back and forth into the exchange. Team 639, the Code Red Machine, playing with a cube in their platform zone, trying to gain possession to make a delivery. The second place team from Taipei, now in control for Red on the far side of the arcade. Back to back with their alliance partners, Code Red. 140 to 99, Red still with ownership of the scale. Each alliance with respective ownership of their switch. Blue Alliance still trying to chip away and get this scale back into possession. And now a drop from the Taipei machine gives the Rocketeers a chance to tip it back. And they do so, but here comes Red. 60 seconds left, Red advantage. Now it's a Stipulse machine who's running the cycles into the exchange, popping power cube after power cube to be traded for power-ups behind driver station lines. 250 continues to run for the Blue Alliance, and here comes the first power-up of the game. It's a level 3 boost from the Red Alliance, boosting both the scale and switch points per second. Just over a half a minute left in play. Ownership of the scale remains with the Red Alliance as the Blue Alliance is getting ready for the end of the game. Team number 20 playing the defense on 639 and now being sandwiched between 639 and the Taipei machine. Team number 20 trying to keep 639 from getting into their own platform zone to face the boss. And now 20 breaks free. It's 10 seconds left. 639 and team number 20, the lone machine's not by the scale. 5 seconds left. With 3, 2, 1. 15-18, the Palmyra machine, the lone robot up in the air here at the end of qualifications 56. Some heavy defense in the closing seconds. And your official results will be up after review. All right, folks, before we show the score here, head referee Dante is going to head onto the field and hold up a yellow card in front of team number 20 of the Blue Alliance. This is going to be in violation of G11 for initiating contact inside another robot's frame perimeter. With that in mind, here come your scores for that last match. It is the Red Alliance who will take the victory. The score was 440 to 264. The Red Alliance win gives them 3 ranking points, 1 for the auto run, 2 for the win. 1 ranking point being secured by the Blue Alliance for the auto run as well. Team 4253 remains in second place as their alliance partners move up in the ranks as well as we inch ever closer to alliance selections this morning. Qualification match number 57 coming up on the arcade after reset.
Qualification match 57. On the Red Alliance, we have team 3040.
Team 3044 represents Ballston Spa Senior High School. Out of Ballston Spa, New York, it's Team Oxby4.
Partner with them is team 2791.
Representing Shaker High School out of Latham, New York, it's Shaker Robotics.
And finally, team 287.
They're the team that represents William Floyd High School out of Mastic Beach, New York. They are Floyd.
Down on blue, we have team 1665.
Team number 1665 represents Hudson Junior Senior High School out of Hudson, New York. They're the weapons of mass construction.
Partners, then we have team 5254.
Team number 5254 finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.22, elevating them into 5th place. They represent Trumansburg, New York, and are known as Hype.
And finally, we have team 191.
Team number 191 represents Joseph C. Wilson Magnet High School and Foundation Academy. They are the Hall of Fame team from Rochester, New York, known as the X-Cats.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
It's the autonomous period here in qualification match number 57. 15 seconds of pre-programmed instruction. 191 strikes first for the Blue Alliance. Latham for red, the Shaker Robotics machine. Both alliances getting the auto run and start the clock. 287 wants to be the first one to take ownership for the Red Alliance. They do so successfully, the Floyd machine. And now their alliance partner, Shaker Robotics, trying to keep that ownership. They do so successfully, despite the efforts on the far side of the arcade by the Blue Alliance. 191 and 52-54, the Hype and X-Cats machines, back to back, playing as adversaries to these Red Alliance scoring machines. And now it's the X-Cats machine who eject a little too early and will have to recollect. 30-44, the Ox machine back for the Red Alliance. Grabbing cubes from the Power Cube zone stack and heading to the exchange. Thanks to the efforts by Team Oxby4, Red activates their first power-up of the game, a levitate. 30 points to the Red Alliance and a free climb at the end of the match. 191, far side of the arcade, trying to get this scale tipped in favor of blue. They lose their balance and right themselves now. as 287 will take a tech foul here on the far side of the arcade for contact in this null territory. Just over 1 minute left in play in match number 57. Red with quite a large lead, 227 to 83. Blue will have some catch-up work to do. Now it's the Red Alliance who activates a level 3 boost, which is going to extend their lead even more with just 47 seconds left. Blue Alliance uses their first power-up of the game, a levitate, giving them 30 points and a free climb here at the end of the match. With just over a half a minute left in play, Blue Alliance trying to regain ownership of their switch. And the wings flop down from the Latham machine, trying to get that face the boss ranking point. 30-44 is up. It is shaky. Can they get it? 15 seconds left. 30-44 is up. Floyd coming down 10 seconds. Hype with their hook extended. And the 52-54 machine is airborne with 3, 2, 1. 30-44 takes a tumble at the end. Scores are in. Red Alliance will take the win here in match number 57, a score of 402 to 173. A good showing here by the Red Alliance. Blue Alliance, despite the loss, will take home a ranking point for the auto run. Red with 3 for the auto run and the win. 27-91 remains your number 1 ranked team as their alliance partners move up in the rankings as well. Coming up next on the arcade, qualification match number 58.
Qualification match 58. Down on the Red Alliance, we have team 2053.
Team number 2053 represents Union, Endicott High School, and Vestal Senior High School. They hail from Endicott, New York, and they're known as Tiger Tronics.
Partnered with them, we have team 3003.
Team 3003 still trying to hang on to their rank 4 position here today. They're from Canandaigua, New York, known as Tanks.
And partnered with them is team 1530.
Team number 5030 hails from right here in Utica, New York. They are known as the Second Mouse.
Down on blue, we have team 4027.
Team number 4027 hails from State College, Pennsylvania. They are the Center County 4-H Robotics team.
And partnered with them, we have team 6422.
Team number 6422 finished their first day of competition with a ranking score of 2.0. They currently hold 8th place and are known as the Gearheads.
And finally, we have team 319.
Team number 319 also finished day 1 of competition with a ranking score of 2.0. They are in 7th place from Alton, New Hampshire, Big Bad Bob.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up.
5 robots in motion here for the autonomous mode of qualifications 58. An early shot by 319. It bounces just shy of the scale. 319 collecting another cube. Can they make it before the buzzer? No dice. Drivers take control. Blue Alliance will take the advantage with an auto run thrown in as well. 319 machine pops one in for the Blue Alliance. They will take ownership of the scale first. Their alliance partners, the 4027 Center County 4-H Robotics team, tries to get one in as well. It bounces shy. Canandaigua on the front side of the arcade, bringing one in. Not enough to tip the scale, and they will have to recollect. Here comes a team from New Hampshire, adding more insurance onto the blue side of the scale. Falls shy once again. Team 5030, the hometown favorites, the Second Mouse, running those cycles into the exchange on the red side of the arcade. Still an untouched power cube stack over on blue. 147 to 50 now as 319 breaks off for the power cube zone. They're gonna head over and get maybe some power-ups. Check that, they're going for the switch to add some insurance as Tanks from Canandaigua encroaching on their opponent's switch there. 4027 drops one low. They'll have to recollect 2053 on the far side of the arcade, trying to get something going. Seem like they're having some trouble with their drive base. And we'll see what they can do here in the final minute of the match. 216 to 83. Blue Alliance has a large advantage. Red has some catch-up work to do in the final 50 seconds. Now, as the Blue Alliance brings the red switch onto their side, and Red will stop earning points for both the switch and the scale. As we head into the end game period here, Blue Alliance activates their first power-up, which, as usual, is the Levitate. 30 points and a free climb for the Blue Alliance. 3003 already up in the air, deploying a bar for one of their other teammates to climb aboard if they can. Red Alliance activating back-to-back power-ups, one Levitate and a level 1 force as their own switch comes back into ownership. 10 seconds left here in match 58 as Blue Alliance plays a level 2 boost, increasing their lead here with 3, 2, 1. Here's the scores for qualifying match 58 on the arcade. The Blue Alliance will take the victory. The score 435 to 192. Blue Alliance has to feel good about the outcome of this match. They get 3 ranking points, 1 for the auto run, 2 for the win. and it boosts all three teams up in the rankings, notably 64-22 and 319 into 6th and 4th, respectively. We're moving into match number 59 here in Central New York.
Qualification match 59. On the red lines, we have team 514.
It's Miller Place Robotics. They represent Miller Place High School from Miller Place, New York.
They are teamed with 1518.
They represent Palmyra Macedon Senior High School. Welcome back to the field, Raider Robotics.
And team 7081.
It's the rookies out of Shenyang, China, NEYC.
On the Blue Alliance, we have team 639.
It's the team from Ithaca Senior High School known as Code Red Robotics.
In the field, and they're also a fan of puns.
I'm a helper. I love helping people, but I sit in a cubicle all day and I'm not interacting, and I really wanted to do something where I could go home and feel good about it every day.
I like the body, the anatomy
2, 1, power up!
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's qualification match number 59. 3 robots in motion, 4 red, 2 for blue. It appears as if 41-22 has been bypassed for the match. 3 seconds left in the autonomous period as red launches one into their side of the switch in time. That's good for an auto run. They will take the slight advantage here and collect 1 ranking point along the way. Seconds into driver control, blue takes ownership of both their switch and the scale, getting the clock started for the Blue Alliance. 5:14, the Miller Place machine deep in the red territory. They're taking cubes from the power cube stack and popping them in the exchange to trade for power-ups later in the match. 6:39, the Code Red machine from Ithaca on the near side of the arcade, continuing to add insurance to the blue side of the scale as they retain ownership. Contesting is the team from Palmyra as the scale starts to tip back towards neutral. 250 is the lone blue machine. Deep in blue territory of the arcade, they drop a power cube on the far side and will recollect. 70-81, the rookies pop one up for the Red Alliance. As the scale moves back and forth with well over 1 minute left in play, Blue Alliance has the advantage, 169-105. Power up, Red Alliance. They use their levitate early on in this match for 30 points and a free climb. Team from Ithaca continues to pour on the cubes as the Colony machine drops 1 cube low. Just under a minute left in play here in qualification match number 59. 5:14, now mixing it up on their opponent's side of the arcade, trying to slow down the Dynamo machine from bringing cubes into the exchange, stealing some cubes along the way with 5 seconds until the end game period. Blue, 247-138. They have the advantage running the 2-on-3 match. The team from Palmyra, Raider Robotics, on their way up. They're well past the mark. Should be good if they can hold it till the end of the match. Power up, Blue Alliance, back to back. They use a levitate and a level 2 boost, giving them bonus points for the scale. 13 seconds left for Code Red. They have their arm up. They're gonna try and lift themselves up with 8 seconds left. That looks like it will stay with 3, 2, 1. Qualification match number 59 in the books here in Utica. Your official results next. Here come the scores for 59. The Blue Alliance takes the victory here. 413-235 was the score. Despite the loss, Red snagging that ranking point for the auto run we saw early in the match. Blue grabbing 2 for the win, boosting them all up in the rankings as we head into match number 60 at the Central New York Regional.
Qualification match 60. On red, we have team 358.
Representing Hauppauge High School from Hauppauge, New York, they are the Robotic Eagles.
Also on the Red Alliance, we have Team 2053.
It's Tiger Tronics. They hail from Endicott, New York.
And 191.
From Joseph C. Wilson Magnet High School and Foundation Academy, they're known as the X-Cats.
Down on blue, we have Team 810.
Representing Smithtown, East and West High Schools, it's the Mechanical Bulls.
Also on blue, we have Team 5484.
They are Career Academy Robotics from South Bend, Indiana.
And we have Team 4027.
From Center County 4-H out of State College, Pennsylvania, it's the Center County 4-H Robotics.
Since lunchtime is coming up, I recommend everybody go to the restaurant on the moon. It's great food, but no atmosphere. Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
60 of 70 qualification matches in the book here in Central New York. Another 2 versus 3 matchup here in qualification match number 60. As the action heats up and the abuse that these robots take keeps getting harder and harder. Blue Alliance will take the advantage, 47. Check that, red now taking the advantage with some fouls thrown in on the Blue Alliance. Blue Alliance will complete their auto run though, and that's good for 1 ranking point. Now as 40-27 takes ownership of the scale for the Blue Alliance for real. 191 trying to contest the black and red machine from Rochester, tipping the scale back into its neutral position. Blue still has ownership, however. It's not going to be enough. 358, the Hauppauge machine, going back and forth between the Power Cube zone and their exchange, starting the power-ups as soon as they can. 40-27 from State College, popping another one in and keeping the ownership on the blue side of the scale. 54-84, the Career Academy Robotics team, running the exchange for the Blue Alliance. 810, the Mechanical Bulls rounding off this Blue Alliance, comes to life and tries to get something going on the near side of the arcade. 160-110. Blue still has the advantage as 358 and 191 surround the red side of the scale and try and get something going for the Red Alliance. Just over 1 minute left in play. Red Alliance cuts the deficit. 40-27 gets caught up on the scale, and they'll also draw a foul for moving the scale without a power cube. Blue Alliance plays the first power-up we've seen in the match. It's to levitate now as 191 also takes a foul for contact in Blue's null territory. 40-27 now with free reign, trying to bring in one of those power cubes to score. 191 successfully places a power cube on and tips the scale over to red for the first time. 36 seconds left in the match. 1 power-up used so far as 358 adds some insurance to the red side of the scale. 299 to 181. Red with ownership now of both the switch and the scale, and is going to try and cut the deficit. Blue, power up. They use levitate. 30 points and a free climb at the end of the match with just over 15 seconds left. The Mechanical Bulls have their hook up, and they're going to try and climb up onto the scale. 191 back to back, trying to do the same thing with just over 5 seconds left. It's 3, 2, 1. It's a close one. We'll get official results from the referees and your scores in just a bit. All right, folks, before we get going here, we're going to have a red card on the field. Dante is going to stand in front of team number 2053 of the Red Alliance. That's a red card for a CO6 violation of not participating in this match, number qualification 60. With that in mind, here come your scores for this last match. Blue Alliance will take the win. It is a score of 356 to 289, a hard-fought match here. Blue Alliance will get 3 ranking points, 1 for the auto run and 2 for the win. And it's going to boost all 3 team members up in the rankings as we inch ever closer to Alliance selection. A good showing here on both sides of the field. Coming up next in Utica, qualifications match number 61.
Qualification match 61. On the Red Alliance, we have team 4122.
It's the O-Bots. They represent Ossining High School from Ossining, New York.
They're partnered with team 527.
They're coming into this match ranked number 9th, trying to get into that picking position. It's the Red Dragons.
And finally, we have team 2791.
Hanging on to first place, Shaker High School, Shaker Robotics.
Down on blue, we have team 27.
It's the Hall of Fame team from Michigan, Team Rush.
Partnered with team 4253.
Representing the Taipei American School in second, Raid 0.
And team 2016.
Representing Ewing, New Jersey, the Mighty Monkey Wrenches.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
Qualifications match number 61 underway. An important match for the teams on the field. Rank number 2 is 42.53 in blue. Rank number 1 is 27.91 in red, trying to retain these positions as we move into this afternoon. Even scale coming out of autonomous. Blue will take ownership, however, and they will take the advantage 66-33. Both alliances getting the auto run. And this is how first power up is played. 2016 running the exchange over on the blue side of the arcade. It's the 527 Massapequa machine doing it for red, showing everyone why they're in 9th place. Team from the Taipei American School drops one far. They will have to recollect as they are back-to-back with their alliance partners Team Rush, trying to get ownership of this scale, but Latham keeps pouring it on. Shaker getting it done for the Red Alliance. Power up, Red Alliance, they use Levitate. Here comes the scale, moving all the way over to the blue side. Before it settles on blue, blue takes ownership for the first time. The Taipei team dropping one low again. Power up, Blue Alliance. They use Levitate as well. Both alliances guaranteed one free climb. Worth 30 points here at the end of the match. 70 seconds left. 160 for blue, 140 for red. The mighty red monkey wrenches keep pounding it in. The team from Ewing getting those power-ups behind the driver's station line. All the action in the far side of the arcade as 2791 meets the team from Taipei. They go their separate ways. And now the team from Massapequa, the 527 machine, adding some insurance into their switch as they keep ownership. Blue with 40 seconds left, they have ownership of the scale and the switch. Red only with the switch, and it is blue who has the advantage. Here we go into the end game. Shaker is ready to deploy their wings, and there they go, ready for robots to climb aboard. 42.53 using their hook, trying to get into position. The cube scoring has ceased as all the robots start getting ready to face the boss. 15 seconds left. 42.53 is airborne. One up for red. 9 seconds left. Ossining is up for red. Time expires in match number 61. Shaker boosting their alliance partners to face the boss here in the closing seconds. Scores are in. It goes to the Blue Alliance who takes the victory. The score, 402-305. A great match here in Central New York. Despite the loss, Red Alliance getting 2 ranking points for the auto run and face the boss. A great effort there. Blue Alliance will take the win with 3 ranking points for the auto run and the win. Despite the loss, 2791 remains your #1 ranked team, and 527 remains in 9th. Blue Alliance robots moving up in the rankings as the team from Taipei stays as #2. We're moving into qualification match number 62 here on the arcade.
qualification match 62. On red, we have team 1665.
They're the weapons of mass construction representing Hudson, New York.
Partnered with them is team 223.
From Lakeland Regional High School, it's Extreme Heat.
And team 6422.
They're the community group from Rocky Point, New York. It's the Gearheads.
On blue, we have team 5254.
Representing Charles O. Dickerson High School from Trumansburg, it's Hype.
And team 6300.
They represent Northwood School from Lake Placid, New York. It's Northwood School Robotics.
And team 694.
It's Sty Pulse from Stuyvesant High School in New York, New York.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
And they're off. Qualification match number 62. One popped in for the Blue Alliance early. One popped in for red, but it is on the wrong side of the switch, so they will not start the points here. However, they do take ownership of the scale early on. Blue Alliance will get the auto run ranking point and take the advantage coming into driver control. Team Hype, the Trumansburg machine on the far side of the arcade, evening the scale and taking ownership from red as all the robots head to work. 2 back for the Red Alliance, 2 back for blue as the team from Hudson delivers 1 to the exchange. Their counterparts on blue, the team from Lake Placid delivering in the blue switch as they add more insurance now with 3 robots back in the blue side of the arcade. Team Hype on the far side of the arcade, adding more to the blue side of the switch. They check that scale. They maintain ownership of both the switch and the scale, accruing 1 point per second for each. Hype machine now misses far left, and they will have to recollect now as team number 223 from Wanacue and the Hudson machine double teaming this power cube zone into the exchange, trying to get power-ups as early as they can. Sty Pulse doing it for the Blue Alliance. They're back-to-back with 6422, their opponents. The googly-eyed Rocky Point machine using their conveyor belt to go from the portal to their opponent's switch. Back and forth with a Lake. Check that, the Northwood School Robotics team. It's a battle for the blue switch now as red uses their first power-up of the game, a levitate. 52-54, continuing to add more cubes to the far side of that scale. Cube count up to 5 for the Blue Alliance as we move ever closer to the end game. Blue Alliance uses levitate now, so both alliances will get 1 free climb worth 30 points. 1665, the Hudson machine already up in the air. And now Sty Pulse is going to try and join them on the other side. Blue Alliance uses a level 3 boost here in the closing seconds, doubling the points accrued from both the scale and the switch. Just under 10 seconds left. 3 blue parked robots. And it's 3, 2, 1. Sty Pulse and weapons of mass construction, the lone 2 machines up in the air for their alliances. And the scores are final. It is the Blue 105 to 107. Blue Alliance will grab 3 ranking points for the auto run and the win. It boosts all 3 teams up in the rankings, notably Team Hype and Sty Pulse into picking position. Qualification match number 63 is coming up on the arcade after reset. Qualification match number 63 is coming up on the arcade after reset.
Qualification match 63. Up on the red side, we have team 20.
The original team out of Clifton Park, New York, it's the Rocketeers. The original team out of Clifton Park, New York, it's the Rocketeers.
We have team 3173.
It's the Igniters, representing McQuade Jesuit High School. It's the Igniters, representing McQuade Jesuit High School.
514.
It's Miller Place Robotics from Miller Place, New York. It's Miller Place Robotics from Miller Place, New York.
340.
Representing Churchville Chili Senior High School, holding on to third place, it's Representing Churchville Chili Senior High School, holding on to third place, they are Big Bad Bob from Prospect Mountain High School. They are Big Bad Bob from Prospect Mountain High School.
And team 3044.
It's team Oxby 4 from Ballston Spa, New York. It's team Oxby 4 from Ballston Spa, New York.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1. Power up in 3.
And they're off. Qualification match number 63. It's the autonomous period. An early score from the Blue Alliance. 340 coming around their side of the arcade, running into Team Ox B4. 340 coming around. It's up in the air. But that's how it's going to stay. Blue takes the advantage 38 to 10 into driver control. Snagging auto run along the way. Good for a ranking point. The scoring starts now with the Churchville Machine, followed up by their alliance partners from New Hampshire. Big Bad Bob adding the assurance just as the Rocketeers get to the scale as well. Scale remains in ownership of the Blue Alliance. Team Ox B4 doing what they've been doing all day very well, running into the exchange, making quick work of that power cube zone, and we expect to see some power-ups flying in for the Blue Alliance shortly. Big Bad Bob continuing the scoring on the scale. Rocketeers will get there first as the scale begins to tip, but some insurance from the New Hampshire Machine will keep it in ownership of Blue. 340 now going to town on their opponent's switch as they have denied all points for the Red Alliance up to this point. They are static at 35. The Igniters now bringing cubes into the exchange, which they can exchange for power-ups. Also 5 points a pop in the vault. Well over 1 minute left in play. It's all Blue here, 184 to 35, and Red will have catch-up work to do to get back in this one with 66 seconds left. 340 coming around the far side of the arcade. The first power-up for the Blue Alliance. They take advantage of a level 3 boost, doubling the points coming in for the scale and the switch. Team number 20 is going to get a foul here there, and that's going to increase the lead of the Blue Alliance. 285, still 35 for the Red Alliance, but here comes 20. Blue Alliance activating their levitate now. 30 points and a free climb here at the end of the match, which is 30 seconds away. 340 and the Rocketeers back at the scale now as Red uses their first power-up of the game, a levitate. 31-73 and 20 doing the best they can over here. It's a 2v3. With 5-14 still static on the diamond plate. 19 seconds left as Blue uses their level 3 force. 319 up in the air and ready to face the boss. 340 and 3044 will park on the platform for a few points apiece. Here comes 20. It's 3, 2, 1. For a few points apiece. Here comes 20. It's 3, 2, 1. Match number 63 goes to the Blue Alliance. They will take a win with a score of 449 to 85. Blue Alliance will grab 3 ranking points for the auto run and the win. 340 stays in third place. 319 will move right up behind them into 4th. And Team 3044 just outside the top 10 here, moving up into 11th. As the action continues here in Utica, we're setting up for match number 64 here on the arcade. As the action continues here in Utica, we're setting up for match number 64 here on the arcade.
Qualification match 64. Down on the Red Alliance, we have team 30-03.
Representing Canandaigua Academy and Middle School, it's Tanks. Representing Canandaigua Academy and Middle School, it's
1450.
XQ Robotics, representing Rochester, New York.
1450. And team
XQ Robotics, representing Rochester, from Mastic Beach, New York, it's Floyd.
287.
From Mastic Beach, New York,
Down on blue, we have team 6621.
6621 hails from Chatham, New York. They're known as Artemis Robotics. 6621 hails from Chatham, New York. They're known as Artemis. It's T-Rex representing Norwich, New York. It's T-Rex representing Norwich, New York.
378.
It's the Newfane Circuit Stompers.
378.
It's the Newfane Circuit Stompers.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1. Power up.
It's the autonomous period qualification match number 64. Programmers showing what they can do. A quick pump from the 145 machine, getting the switch on the clock for the Blue Alliance. Red. Two crosses, none in the switch. Blue will grab the auto run and the advantage. For the ranking point, 30-03, the Canandaigua machine will be the first to strike on the scale for the Red Alliance. They will take ownership and get on the clock for the Red Alliance. Meanwhile, their alliance partners snagging one in their own switch, so they will have ownership of both the switch and a scale. Now, unfortunately, a run-in when the scale will grab a foul as well, removing the scale without the use of a power cube. 105-47, the Blue advantage. Without the use of a power 66-21, the Artemis Robotics team back in the blue side of the arcade, running from the power cube stack back to the exchange, back to back with 30-03. Tanks trying to make their way back to the far side here of the arcade, trying to make their way back to the far side. As our alliance partners, 287, the Floyd machine from Mastic Beach, New York, is making quick work of the cubes lined up next to the switch, and keeps ownership of both the scale and the switch for the Red Alliance. They are catching back up, 119-147. Blue still with the lead, though, with just over a minute left in play. The Circuit Stompers attempting a delivery. That falls shy, and they will have to recollect. 145 and 30-03 back-to-back on the near side of the arcade, both trying to grab a power cube, running into each other a bit, playing a little bit of offensive defense here with 50 seconds left, as Red has nearly cut the deficit, and Red has taken the lead for the first time. 66-21, continuing to run from the power cube stack to the exchange. No power-ups used yet here in match number 64, with Red now in the lead, 203-172. Blue being denied of all points. There is the first power-up, a levitate from the Red Alliance, as 30-03 gets set up for the end game. 20 seconds left to climb up and face the boss. 378, the Stompers machine, bringing the scale back to neutral. Back-to-back power-ups from the Blue Alliance. A level 3 force and a levitate, bringing both the scale and the switch over into ownership of the Blue Alliance. 8 seconds left for Floyd to try a double climb here on the Canandaigua machine. They pull down 30-03 as time expires here in match number 64. 30-03 as time expires here in match number 64. Red Alliance will take this one. A good comeback here, 294-266. Red grants 2 ranking points for the win. Blue, despite the loss, will take 1 for the auto run. Just Despite the win, 30.03, moving slightly down into 7th place. That's still picking position as their alliance partners both move up in the ranks. Match number 65 of 70 is coming up here in Central New York. Match number 65 of 70 is coming up here in Central New York.
Qualification match 65. Qualification match 65. On red, we have team 50-30.
It's the second mouse from Utica, New York.
Partnered with team 514.
Welcome back to the field, Miller Place Robotics from Miller Place, New York.
And team 2791.
It's Shaker Robotics out of Latham, New York.
Down on blue, we have team 3173.
Hailing from Rochester, New York, they're known as the Igniters.
They are partner team 6422.
Out of Rocky Point, New York, it's the Gearheads.
And finally, we have team 2053.
Tiger Tronics, representing Union Endicott High School and Vestal Senior High School.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1. Power up!
It's the autonomous period here in qualification match number 65. All three red machines in motion. Latham strikes first, getting a power cube on their side of the switch and starts the clock for the Red Alliance. They will take the advantage and the ranking point for the auto run, 29 to 15. Drivers step to their control, teleoperated period begins. 27.91, strutting their stuff, showing why they're in first place. Taking ownership of the scale now for the Red Alliance. Adding some assurance. They miss wide and Tigertronics has a chance to take it back. On the near side of the scale, Team 2053, cube up in the air. Latham will beat them to it, securing the scale for the Red Alliance. As the power cube falls shy. Well over a minute and a half in play, 91 to 40, still Red Alliance favor. 64-22, running the cycles from the portal. They have a power cube and are heading back towards the front side of the arcade. Check that. They switch positions and now they head back over to the Red Alliance switch. 133 to 61 advantage. Red. 64-22 deposits on the blue side of the red switch. The gearheads back at the portal on the far side of the arcade. Giving Red a run for their money, trying to deny them the points from their own switch. The Red Alliance power cube stack is gone thanks to team number 5030, the second mouse. And here come the power-ups back to back. Red Alliance uses a levitate and a level 3 force, giving them ownership of both the scale and the switch with 40 seconds left in the match. 31-73, doing the same for the Blue Alliance. They have a cube in hand, trying to pass it off to their human players behind the driver's station walls. And now the Red Alliance will add one more power, a level 1 boost, giving them double points from the switch for 10 seconds. 25 seconds remain here in match number 65. Latham has their ramps out, trying to face the boss. Miller Place and Utica looking to get boosted up as well. 13 seconds left. Blue uses their levitate power. Tigertronics in position with 5 seconds left. Red Alliance trying to get on the ramps. Oh, Latham. 8-3, 2, 1. No dice for the Red Alliance there at the end of the match. Scores are official. And here go the alliances to take down the boss. It's the Red Alliance who takes the victory. A score of 370 to 219. Red Alliance will secure 3 ranking points for the auto run and the win. Shaker, still your number 1 ranked team, and 514 moving up slightly in the rankings here at Central New York. Coming up next on the arcade is qualification match number 66. This is match 66 out of 70, and at the conclusion of match number 70, we will proceed with our alliance selections for this afternoon's playoff tournament. What that means is each team will need to send down 1 student representative over to pit admin and queuing to get ready for this alliance selection. That's directly following qualification match number 70. 1 student representative from each team over to pit admin and queuing.
All right, qualification match 66. Let's meet the teams. Up first, the red, we have team 250.
The Dynamos out of Colony, New York.
They are partnered with team 5254.
It's Team Hype from Charles O. Dickerson High School.
And team 810.
The Smithtown Mechanical Balls.
On blue, we have team 527.
They're the Red Dragons from Plain Edge Senior High School.
They're paired with team 287.
They're known as Floyd, and they hail from Mastic Beach, New York.
And team 6621.
6621 is the team from Chatham, New York, known as Artemis Robotics.
Drivers behind the line. In 3, 2, 1, power up!
Qualifications match number 66.
Drivers behind the line.
Qualifying matches here in
3,
Central New York.
2, 1, power up!
15-second autonomous period. Qualifications match number 66. 5 more qualifying matches here in Central New York. It starts as always with a 15-second autonomous period. 1 drops for red, 1 for blue. As both alliances get on the clock early here in match number 66. Red with a slight advantage, 34 to 30, both completing their auto run for the ranking point. Floyd and the Mechanical Bulls going for the scale early, and it will level back out as they will recollect. Red robots back as well, 810. 2 blue robots back at the Power Cube Zone. 2 red robots back as well, 810 and 250. 250, the Dynamo Machine, adding another Power Cube of insurance onto the red switch, 810. Powering it into the exchange. And now, here comes the team from Trumansburg going toe-to-toe with Floyd. Both of them at the scale. Red has temporary ownership, but it looks very close. Both of them at 52-54. Red has temporary ownership, but it looks very close. 52-54, quick collection, but they drop, and we'll have to recollect with a minute and a half. Quick collection, but they drop, and we'll have to recollect with a minute and a half left in play. 66-21, the Artemis Robotics team, powering some cubes into the exchange early on in this match, as their alliance partners, Floyd, are trying to pick up the cube on the far side of the arcade. Power up for the Red Alliance. They will use a levitate early, as will Blue. Red still with a slight advantage now with ownership of the scale and the switch. 147 to 118 with just over 1 minute left in play. 5-2-7. Knocking one in on their opponent's switch. Still not enough. Knocking one in on their opponent's switch. Still not enough to turn the tide. They will recollect and try again, but 250, adding more cubes onto their own switch to make sure they keep ownership over here on the red side of the arcade. 189 to 149, red advantage still, with dual ownership of the scale and the switch. 287 drops one down. 52-54 scoring on the second row of the scale. Blue Alliance uses a level 2 force. Power up now for 10 seconds, forcing the position of the scale over into their ownership, as Red uses a level 3 boost, doubling the points of the switch and the scale for 10 seconds as we move into endgame period. Red extending their lead, 309 to 224. Blue following up with a level 1 boost, doubling the points of their own switch and trying to get back in it with 10 seconds left. 331 to 242. It all comes down to the climb. The Hype Machine making their way up. It's 3, 2, 1.
The Mechanical Bulls.
Look at this, folks. The Mechanical Bulls coming up underneath Hype. That plus a levitate is what we call face the boss for a ranking point on the Red Alliance. Here come your scores for our 66th qualification match. It is the Red Alliance who takes the win. And that's got to feel good if you're the Red Alliance taking the win. The ranking point for the auto run and face the boss. That's all 4 ranking points. They take it with a score of 410 to 262. Despite the loss, Blue Alliance will get 1 ranking point for the auto run. All 3 red machines getting boosted up in the ranks, notably Team 52-54, who moves into the 4th position, and we move into match number 67 here on the arcade.
Qualification match 67. Qualification match 67. On red, we have team 5484.
Traveling in from South Bend, Indiana, it's Career Academy Robotics.
2016.
They're partnered with
the
Mighty Monkey Wrenches from Ewing. They're the Mighty Monkey Wrenches from Ewing, New Jersey.
And team 319.
And the team in fifth place from Alton, New Hampshire. It's the team in fifth place from Alton, New Hampshire. Big Bad Bob.
On the Blue Alliance, we have team
On the Blue Alliance,
we have team 7081.
It's the rookies from Shenyang and EYC. It's the
and team 4122.
It's the Obots representing Ossining High School.
And team 694.
They are the New York Stieples.
Drivers behind the line. Drivers behind the line.
1.
In 3, 2, 1.
Power up. Period in qualification match. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The autonomous period in qualification match number 67. Blue lines will strike first. Starting the clock. Blue lines will strike first. Starting the clock on their own switch. A drop cue from the Big Bad Bomb machine. And now Blue will take a sizable advantage as they take ownership in the closing seconds of autonomous mode for the scale. Also picking up the auto run is the Blue Alliance, and Red will have catch-up work to do coming into driver control. 5484 for the Red Alliance. They're the team from Indiana who are running the cycles into the exchange. Their alliance partner, Big Bad Bob, trying to even the scale out on the far side of the arcade. 2016, the Mighty Monkey Wrench Machine heading back to their portal on the far side of the arcade. And they're going to head over to their opponent's switch as we have our first power-up of the game. It's a levitate from the Red Alliance. Running those cycles. 2016. Running those cycles. Denying the Blue Alliance points from their own switch. 319. The Red Machine still trying 319. The Red Machine still trying to get these power cubes in to tip the scale, but Stieples and NEYC are making quick work of the scale for the Blue Alliance. Stieples 694 coming back to the front side of the arcade. They run into their alliance partners from China. 7081 and Stieples up at the scale. It's a race as Big Bad Bob moving into position with a cube of their own. Not going to be enough. Just under 1 minute left in play. Blue Alliance has the 80-point advantage. 5484 now a cube in hand. Coming up, going to join their alliance partners, Big Bad Bob at the scale. Red Alliance using a force power-up, a level 3, forcing both their switch and the scale into ownership for 10 seconds. They cut the deficit 190 to 151 with 5 seconds until the end game period. Red Alliance making a huge stab at the scale, and they move it back into neutral control. Check that, it's red ownership for the time being. It will stay red ownership. The team from New Hampshire adding insurance now for Red. Level 3 boost from the Red Alliance as they take the lead. 245 to 209 with just over 10 seconds left in play. Back-to-back power-ups from the Blue Alliance as they try to take it back. 6 seconds left. 2, 1. It's 3, 2, 1. Unofficially a 5-point game. Unofficially a 5-point game. At the end of match number 67. One of the closest ones we've seen yet today. All right, folks, before we show the score here, head referee Dante DeLello is going to go over to the Red Alliance side of the field and hold up a yellow card in front of team number 2016. That's going to be a violation of G09 for repeated launching violations. With that in mind, your official scores onto the board are coming onto the board. It is 286. It is 286 for the Blue Alliance, 266 will take the victory. For Red. The Blue Alliance will take the victory. They get the win and the ranking point for the auto run. A very close match here. It'll boost all 3 blue machines up in the ranking. Notably team number 694, who moves up into the 5th position.
Qualification match 68. Qualification match 68. Down here on Red, we have team 6300.
It's Lake Placid's own Northwood School Robotics.
They are partnered with team 358.
It's the Robotic Eagles from Hauppauge, New York.
We have team 639. And with them, we have team 639.
Code Red Robotics, representing Ithaca Senior High School.
On blue, we have team 30. On blue, we have team 30.
They're the pride of Canandaigua Academy and Middle School, known as Tanks.
Partnered with team 3044. Partnered with team
3044. The Ox is in the house. It's Team Oxby4.
And team 27. And team 27.
They're the team from Clarkston, Michigan, known as Team Rush.
Drivers behind the line. Drivers behind the line. 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1.
It's qualification match number 68 here at the Central New York qualification match number 68 here at the Central New York Regional. The autonomous period, 15 seconds of pre-programmed control. A delivery early from Rush. And that will be a delivery early from Rush. And that will be will take the early advantage. About it. As Blue will take the early advantage. The auto run in the process 40 to 15. Snagging the auto run in the process for the ranking point. Tech foul now being called on team number 639 of the Red Alliance as they grab a cube and head around the front side of the arcade, trying to up and close to this untouched scale so far. Will take ownership for the Red Alliance. The team from Ithaca will take ownership for the Red Alliance as they start the clock. 27, the blue and gold machine from Clarkston, facing heavy defense once again from the team from Hawthorne. 30-44, their alliance partners going to town on that exchange already, powering up their levitate ability. 27, Team Rush trying to escape the contact from the Hawthorne machine, the robotic Eagles. In the null territory. Now finding their safe zone in the null territory, and Rush is free to score. But 639, Code Red keeps ownership for the Red Alliance. 139 to 105. As they are cutting the deficit, 139 to 105. On the Hawthorne team, and now a few tech fouls on the Hawthorne team for contact in the null territory. Here with 1 minute left to go. Will extend Blue's lead here with 1 minute left to go. Blue uses a level 2 force. The scale switching ownership for the Blue Alliance temporarily. They extend their lead 237 to 137. And now it's Team Rush who centers the scale. 639, go Red. Denying ownership. Blue stops accruing any sort of points here in the match with 37 seconds left. It's the Northwood team and the Canandaigua team going back to back on the front side of the arcade. 30 seconds left in match number 68. 30-03. Placing one in their opponent's scale. Northwood answering. They keep ownership. And another tech foul now being called for contact here in the blue platform zone. For the Red Alliance here at the end that could be detrimental for the Red Alliance here at the end of the game. Ithaca is up. 5 seconds left for Blue. It's 3, 2, 1. A last second force played on both. A last second force played on both sides of the field. Does not have very much effect at all. And your scores after review. And your scores after review. Comes out victorious here in match 68. It's a score of 348 to 239.